Hello, Evolution RTS fans. Forboding Angel here. I'm going to cast another game that happened at the get-together number 18. This one is going to be a 5-way free-for-all between myself, Forboding Angel, Commonplayer, Polargaming, Raaar, and Ikinz. And you can see everybody's getting their starts on. Now, first thing you might notice about this map is it's freaking tiny. And you only start with 2 metal extractors and 1 in the center. How generous. So, yeah. The map is actually called Hotstepper. And looks like this game's going to get underway. Pretty much everyone's going to start on mexes, except for Raar's going to enjoy the scenery for a moment. And I'm guessing he's probably AFK. Oh, there his mouse is moving. Alright. And it looks like Ikinz is going to go ahead and try to get his factory in the middle. Myself and Commonplayer are going to go ahead and start trying to take the metal extractors in the lower portions of this map. And looks like Polar's going to go ahead and set up some generators and an all-terrain factory. Looks like Commonplayer's going for amphibious tanks. And looks like I'm going to sit there for a while. Okay, I'm going for all-terrain tanks as well. And Ikinz is going for hover tanks. So he's going to start pumping out some kites right about the same time. Polar's going to get his recluse production going. And Raaar is busy just building up. And looks like we have a little bit of action going on here. And looks like a turret in an attempt to kill units building in my factory is actually hitting my metal extractor. At the same time, Recluse from Polargaming is being really annoying. And looks like Raar's got out a Mossberg to take care of that. Gonna freeze that right up. Okay, and Commonplayer is basically massing up snakes right about now. And being harassed by Ikinz. And going in for the kill, and he's pretty much going to have free reign at Ikin's base, but he's also out of energy. Now, as far as the incomes go, we have myself and Commonplayer at 3 metal income, Polar at 2, Raaar at 4 metal income, and Ikinz at 1. And we've got a whole bunch of action here. Gonna go take the volume down just a little bit. Unfortunately, I cannot build out of my factory because he has a turret right there, and it loves to shoot everything in the process. Now, Ikinz is probably going to have his factory production shut down. However, the one saving grace is that Commonplayer's continually is running out of energy. And it looks like Polar's going to take some recluse and try to take out this lightning rod. Not going to happen. At the same time, Common is going to invade me and take out my factory, which should be happening, but unfortunately he's once again run dry on energy, but he's going to get the factory anyway. And there goes the factory. At the same time, Raaar is going to be moving in on my top right side. And Ikinz is going to build a random turret on his starting plateau. And choose not to rebuild his metal extractors. got Recluse moving in for me, taking out this turret as it's being built. That would be all kinds of bad for me if that were able to finish building. And unfortunately for me, Raaar has a Mossberg here. It's freezing my units, but he doesn't have anything to back it up with. Now, Commonplayer is just massing snakes like crazy. And looks like these snakes are definitely doing a great job of taking out everything that myself and Polar can throw at them. And it looks like Raaar's just kind of hanging out in his little corner. He's actually got a nice bit of income. Commonplayer is by far way ahead of everybody in income. And looks like Polar's... Uh-oh! That's a problem. By the way, I forgot to mention that this map has a special feature. Every now and then lava comes up and destroys everything on this lower area. Unfortunately, none of us had ever played this map before, and so none of us knew that. So I pretty much lost my entire economy and my factory and everything. And yeah, in hindsight, my choice to go up on that plateau with all those snakes there, not very wise. And it looks like I'm pretty much going to be taken out right here. I do get an EMP off on his factory. I will be able to escape with my Overseer. But unfortunately, I've pretty much lost everything at this point. I'm going to go ahead and start putting up some metal extractors. Polar is pretty much dead. He has 2 metal extractors, 3 Recluse, and 2 Mossbergs. So, and Ikinz is completely dead at this point. He's definitely been taken out. And it does look like Raar's getting some production facilities up. Unfortunately, he needs to power these buildings, or this factory, so that he can get some tanks out. And looks like Commonplayer is going to be kind of annoying with some drones. I actually throw up a Copperhead turret so that those drones can't really annoy me very much. But Commonplayer can definitely use them to be irritating. And at the same time, he's going to go ahead and rebuild his metal extractors. And it looks like Raaar has a bunch of drones up here, just waiting to see what they can do. Looks like he's got a grand total of 16 of them. Looks like Commonplayer is currently in possession of 26 snakes, 27, and 2 Dyson riot tanks. So 1 Basher versus that army, probably not going to work out very well for the Basher. 4 Bashers probably still won't work out very well for that army, but the drones are going to move in and be annoying. Do a little bit of damage to the Bashers, not enough to really worry about, but these snakes will take care of the Bashers quite quickly. And there they go. However, one thing is that he's going to lose a lot of these snakes in the process of trying to attack that turret. However, Raaar is completely empty on energy, so unfortunately there's not much that can be done about that. Commonplayer does lose the vast majority of his drones, and unfortunately that turret is bad news for me because it is very much within range of where I want to be right now. So, and it looks like Commonplayer is going to go ahead and take the high area of the map and put an orb up there to repair his army, which is looking a little damaged at the moment. There it goes. Starts healing it up. And I get an EMP off on his army and try to invade and get massacred. And it looks like Raar's going to be moving his overseer to the middle. I'm about to lose my overseer to that turret. And just barely managed to keep it alive. Losing my factory once again, and there my overseer goes, and I am left without an engineer. So at this point, I've resigned, and it's completely down to Commonplayer and Raaar. And honestly, things are looking pretty bad for Raaar. Commonplayer's going to go ahead and take out Polar's remaining units. Polar has already resigned and has been spectating for a while. There you go. So those get taken out, and Raaar isn't actually building anything. Now this one shredder is kind of having its own little party, and unfortunately leading off with anti-air tanks probably not the best thing to do in your army, but it doesn't really matter when all they have to do is face a single snake. But speaking of snakes, there's 20 of them, and they are pretty much all headed for the center of the map. Now it does look like Raaar might be able to put up a pretty good fight here. He's got 2 light turrets there. He's got anti-raider tanks, so he can do a pretty good number on these units. In fact, Commonplayer's gone from 26, and there's the lava. That's highly unfortunate. But Commonplayer's gone from 26 snakes down to 12, so he's at 30 supply to Raar's 21. And looks like he's going to lose an anti-air turret there, and unfortunately he tries to EMP the turret, but unfortunately not enough damage there to take care of that, and he loses sledge in the process. That was not worth it at all. And there goes another shredder, and unfortunately his overseer is within range of that. Now Commonplayer is back up to 16 snakes. Raaar about to lose an architect here. And he's putting up an immolator to kind of give him some range against all these tanks. Unfortunately, he hasn't actually rebuilt any of these mexes. There he goes. He's about to start doing that. And he actually has a surplus here. Now, if he were to put up a couple shield units here, he would actually pretty much be impervious to attack from this particular angle. Of course, he could always be attacked from the sides. These turrets will only cover to about there. And this one about there. And so, looks like Commonplayer's going to hit the easy button and go for some assimilators, which are laser support artillery. This is when it's a good idea to have the shields, because they can really help out against assimilators like this. So these turrets are going to go down pretty quickly. Within 3 shots, actually. And there it goes. So unfortunately, unless Raaar does something, there's not much he can do to really stop this assimilator. It's going to sit there and just be irritating. And Raar's kind of holding out here. Now the orb is repairing Raar's turrets and things, but he only has 1, so it's not able to really do much good. And there goes one of the expensive immolator turrets, and so that's bad. He is starting to get out some sledge here. with the orb guarding the factory. That's good. Not sure what his overseer was doing there. He could have actually EMP'd this turret, but he's not going to. And this sledge is going to try to single-handedly take on that turret. Not going to happen. The assimilator is pretty much picking apart all these turrets. And unfortunately, Commonplayer's army is simply too large. It looks like he has 9 razors mixed in with his snakes, so snakes and razors, that's really going to put the hurt on him whenever he decides to attack. Does lose an engineer, which is irritating to say the least, but not a big deal. Commonplayer has 7 metal income and 22 energy income, whereas Raaar is actually at 6 metal income and 15 energy income, so he's not much far behind. He just needs to stop leaking metal. He's leaking tons of metal. And looks like there's going to be a little bit of a push to the center. Commonplayer being a little bit indecisive, loses some tanks for his effort. Goes in with the drone, gets a little scouting info. Looks like these sledges are going to try to take out this emulator turret, and he's going to lose some of his sledges, but he'll probably get the turret. Yeah, he does get the turret, but unfortunately, he then proceeds to get completely overrun with snakes and razors. Now, he could actually EMP. Oh, no, he can't. He doesn't have enough energy. Now he does. He could actually EMP that army and stop its advance somewhat, but unfortunately, things are not looking particularly excellent for Raaar right at the moment. And there comes the lava. That takes out pretty much most of the income for Raaar. Unfortunately, he didn't move back over to my area here. And so this lava is undulating. It's actually a really interesting optical illusion. And that assimilator's pretty much going to town. And looks like this is basically going to be GG. We're still kind of holding out a little bit. Holding out hope against hope. It could happen, but Commonplayer's economy is just fantastic at the moment. Looks like we have some Ikinz anti-air tanks coming out to conveniently stop these drones in their tracks. And wow! The lava rises to the 2nd level and everybody is instantly surprised, and Commonplayer just happened to be lucky with his army on the center platform at that particular time. So he's going to move in with his assimilator and his snakes, and most importantly, the razors. The drones are going to come in, try to do some damage, but these Ikinz anti-air tanks are going to make short work of them. And that's pretty much going to be all she wrote. Raar's overseer now dying. And unfortunately, Commonplayer is very much out of energy as he tries to take out Raar's few remaining buildings. He is putting up an advanced generator though, so that will definitely help. Plus this assimilator will take out things pretty quickly. There they go. And Raaar self-destructs and GG's. So here's the stats, if you like. Unfortunately, that purple is a bit hard to see, unfortunately. But let me find a nice spot here. Okay. Yeah, we have Ikinz with metal used of 481, Polar at 833, myself with 1534. And then you can also see where the lines level out, pretty much where we died. With Raaar falling quite a bit behind Commonplayer, which kind of makes sense considering he wasn't able to take up all this area over here. And looks like with energy used and energy produced, Commonplayer was pretty far ahead. Now Raaar actually could have thrown up some metal makers, and that would have helped him quite a bit. A lot of times he was accessing on energy, so that could have helped him quite a bit. And units killed pretty much tells a grim story. Unfortunately, it looks like Ikinz killed all of a single unit before he died, so that's kind of depressing. And it looks like Polar only managed to pull off 5 kills himself, so sorry about those kills. Anyway, this has been another cast for Evolution RTS. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to come and join us on our game day get-togethers. They happen on Saturdays at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 5 p.m. in Greenwich Mean Time. So basically 10 a.m. PST and 10 a.m. PST, 5 p.m. GMT. I've been talking so much that my mouth doesn't work anymore. So come and join us. We get in the Spring Mumble channel, and that way we can talk. I stream the entire event, so you can, if you can't make it, you can just watch. So anyway, this cast is officially over, so you guys have a good